Lowdown, and welcome to another edition of Fan Talk. I'm delighted to be joined by Iain. And listen, man, Dubois Joyce has been a fight that we've all been looking forward to for a long time. Great action in the ring. Joyce winning by 10th round stoppage, man, busting Dubois' eye up and stopping him with a jab in the 10th. Now, could you have predicted that? What was your prediction going in, and how did you see that fight?
I'm going to put my hands up. My prediction got wrong. I thought Dubois would sink him in and it would slowly beat him down within the mid rounds. I just thought he would be relentless and Joyce would then just fall like a tree. But I'm happy to say I've gotten things wrong before. I picked Wilder to beat Fury in the rematch, so I'm happy to say I'm wrong. But I was really frustrated with how Dubois was so open for that jab, and he just wasn't putting his hands up. I was just like, I was watching with my dad, and I was like, put your
no head movement.
No, it wasn't even barely. He slightly did it, but it was like, come on, more of that, Daniel. It was frustrating because it was like, you know, the first thing you're taught is protect yourself at all times. It doesn't mean that's not just cliche rules. That is the thing, protect yourself. It just seemed like his first strategy was just, I'll take a few and then I'll hit him and then he'll go down. It's like, that's the dumbest strategy in boxing. Have some thinking to what you're doing.
I guess we have to put this down to experience. Joyce, as an amateur, he mixed at the elite level, got all the way to the finals of the Olympics, won a silver medal in a fight that many thought he should have won the gold. He fought Usyk, all right, he lost to him, but he still fought him. He fought Hrgovic as well, didn't he, in the in the amateurs? And as professionals, he's fought much better competition than Dubois has. So you kind of saw it from early on. Joyce took the center of the ring, he landed a stiff jab, and it kind of set the tone of the fight for me. And Dubois' eye was busted up at round 5-6, and I was wondering how much longer is he going to land? I mean, how much longer is he going to last, with the eye looking like that? And we saw in the 10th, he just had enough.
I know, I mean, he was catching, he didn't, he didn't, how can I put this best? I'm trying to be nice to him because I'm not going to accuse him of quitting and all, but like, I'm not David A.
Seeing a lot of people are.
I'm a bit nicer than that. I didn't do a Cal Brook with Spence, but he caught me. He did try and fight back and caught him with good ones, but again, you made the point, experience. If I can put a football description to it, it was like he just thought the jab was going to be a few shots at goal, and then thinking, I'll get the goal, I'll get a set piece and score the goal. It's like, well, yeah, but what if they score first?
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm hoping that he'll be okay, but that eye looked bad, mate. It looked bad. I'm hoping that for his sake that whatever he does is okay, but like, if he's going to come back, they need to rebuild him properly, and they need to like be careful with it, because if he does come back and he gets beat like that again, then that can just damage a young fighter's confidence. We've seen it one too many times in this.
Yeah, sport. And I think this will damage Dubois, because he's really, from what we've seen about him and some of the articles I've read, he only really cares about boxing. Like, he's just, his whole life is revolved around boxing. So this is going to hurt him. This is going to really hurt him, I think.
Oh, absolutely. If this is your life, then it's like you've put a Formula One description. It's like you've spun off for the first time, and you can't get out of the gravel.
Yeah.
And again, he's 23, so he's got youth on his side, but really needs to look at. He really needs to. I hope he watches that. But if he does come back, then or if his eye's okay, then he needs to really look at that. And I hope his team just put your hands up next time. Just protect yourself. Because I swear he could have been in that fight longer if he just kept his eye protected.
Yeah. Now, I just saw, just before I signed on here for you to talk with you, just seen that the judges' scorecards for this fight. I've only just seen this now, and I've seen that one judge had Dubois 8 rounds up going into that last round, the 10th round against Joyce. One judge had Joyce winning, but another judge had Dubois winning. But the scorecard where they had Dubois 8 rounds up, what is going on with these scorecards, man?
I have no clue. I mean, I had to look up and think, was Terry O'Connor one of the judges? But it wasn't. He's like, you know, we bemoan Terry O'Connor, but we used to bemoan every other country for years, like the Americans, the Germans, and it's like, well, it's like we're slowly morphing into them, and it's painful because you know then everyone laughs because then it's half the reason why we don't get the big Americans over because then they're like, well, if it goes to distance, I might not get the first share. I know Adrian Broner said that, and I laughed that off and thought, oh, shut up, Adrian, but he might have enough, but for once in his life, but 8 rounds up, I just saw that for. What fight we watching? Okay, yes, Dubois was landing shots, but Joyce was getting the jab off. That made some of the rounds close for me. I had it close. I mean, I don't score fights, but I felt like it was a closer fight than 8 rounds. Jeez,
for sure.
I'm glad it didn't go to the scorecards because then we'd have been talking and
there would have been a lot of angry people out there. Yeah. What? Last question. What would you like to see next for Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois?
For Joe Joyce. Well, they clearly want to fast track him because he's not as young as Dubois. So he mentioned Usyk's name. I think it would be interesting because they had a good fight in the amateurs. I can't remember who just tweeted, but someone put it. I think it was Steve Kim. I've just spotted him saying it that it would be a 36-round fight and could Usyk last that for 36 rounds with him. It's Usyk. He could do it. He just fought Chisora.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try and go. I think they're going to try and go down that WB road to see if AJ will give the title up, but we'll see about that. I think they'll try and get him a world title fight in the next year. I don't know if Frank will try and fight back, be in his corner because you could see Frank's face. He didn't look pleased that Joe won. You could see in his face.
Yeah, he didn't, did he? No.
He just looked like everything.
Joe's one of his fighters.
Hey, Don King was notorious for this. I'll sign you to get beaten up by my guy. Oh, you beat my guy. Okay, I'll keep you.
Yeah.
He did it with Holyfield when he was cannon fodder for Tyson, and then he beat Tyson. It was like, man.
Yeah, he was guyed. Exactly. So what about Dubois? What would you like to see next for him?
If he comes back, I think he's surpassed British level now because he's fought those guys, but try some more fringe European guys. Like try some of those guys because don't throw him in with some fringe world level guys because he might falter again. You got to rebuild him. Heavyweights are a special type of box. You got to really match them carefully.
Carefully, yeah.
David Price for me is the classic example of when matchmaking goes wrong. And
yeah.
Look at what happened to him. It ruined him. He was never the same when he lost his rematches.
Good point.
So again, Dubois, if he's gonna come back, and if he is good, if his eye's not as bad as possible, take your time with him. They were trying because Frank Warren was talking about him like he'd throw him in with Usyk. Take your time with the guy. He's only young.
Yeah.
Again, what more can I say? I mean, but he needs to look at all the if he's really absolute boxing man, then he needs to look at all the heroes he's had and for what did they do. The first person he should be calling Lennox Lewis tomorrow. Where if he has what did you do when you lost?
Sure, good idea.
We know he loves him. We've seen the video with him. Call Lennox tomorrow.
Yeah, good shout, man. Well, listen, Iain, thank you for joining us today, and look forward to speaking to you a bit later about Tyson and Jones. Take care, man.
Okay.